Why men don't understand women. So culturally, we assume we're the same. So when we communicate, we think we're speaking the same language, but we're not. Men and women are structured completely different. Biologically, our brains are different. Hormonally, we're completely different. And so when we communicate, these factors cut in. So when a man's listening or in communication with a woman, he's listening for facts and information. Now, if you listen to a woman's pattern of speech, in one paragraph, she can cover 5 different topics because she's thinking about all those topics right now. And as she starts to speak, they all spill out. And he's still on topic number 1 when she's on topic number 6. And he's like, I can't cope with, what do you mean? What are we talking about here? So ladies, I'm sure you've caught your man looking at you with a stunned look on his face because he's trying to work out what of those topics he should address. And so he doesn't understand that you need to cover those 6 topics. There's nothing wrong with you covering those 6 topics. However, if you want to get clear with your man, I would suggest you slow those things down and cover one at a time so that he can absorb that. Men and the way their brain is designed is to be very single focused. This comes from millions of years of evolution. And so we know from scientific research that when a man walks in a room, he focuses in on one object at a time. A woman scans the room with her peripheral vision and focuses on everything in the room at that time. And so this is the same in communication. And men don't understand that you need to be able to jump from one topic, store those 5 topics and go, okay, let's address each of these things at a time. So this major issue comes up in a lot of relationships. And just being able to realize that this is a factor can completely change your communication because love flows through communication. If we feel we're not understood, if we feel like we're not heard inside the relationship because of these factors of miscommunication, then we can't feel loved. And when we don't feel loved, we're going to slide into resentment because people don't fall out of love in relationships, they fall into resentment. And resentment builds when we feel misunderstood. So understanding, for a man to understand a woman, it takes patience, it takes training, it takes understanding the differences in the patterns of speech and patterns of behavior that we actually use as men and women to communicate. Yes, we might all speak the same language, whatever language that is, but that doesn't mean that we're actually communicating. Research has been done that shows the words themselves are just 7% of the communication in an intimate relationship. And so how we listen, understanding what we're listening for. Women want to speak about emotions, how they feel about things. If you listen to a woman communicate about an event that's happened, she'll tell you all about how she felt about it, how the other person involved felt about it, and how she feels about it now. A man will speak about it, and it'll be about factually what happened or didn't happen. And that can be quite frustrating for women because they're constantly, when a man's speaking, listening for how he feels about this situation. And often she'll have to prompt him and say, well, how do you feel about that? And he'll be like, feel? Because again, from research, it takes about 7 hours for a man to know how he feels about something. And so when a woman's not getting this feeling communication, she starts to feel frustrated. She starts to feel the relationship has no depth to it. And then she starts to feel resentful because this guy is not opening up to her. Not like in the honeymoon period where he told her everything. In the infatuation period where he shared all of his life and how he felt about things. But now he seems to revert it into this guy that's just doing functional stuff around the house instead of sharing his intimate, emotional life with her. And this misunderstanding comes across in relationships all the time. It takes training, it takes work. If you want to know more about this, watch more of my videos, or alternatively, book a discovery call, or even better, come to one of our events where over 3 days, we completely change how you communicate with each other, how you hear each other, how you feel connected to each other, and how much you can feel the love between each other. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this, pass it on to someone else that you know would enjoy it as well. And thanks for watching and being on the channel.